Can you What is up? What is good? How's it going? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about D&D or Dungeons and Dragons. You know, growing up, I had in no way had any intention of actually playing Dungeons and Dragons. I always thought it was kind of lame and it was just a lot to handle. And you know, like whenever I saw it on like TV and stuff, people were spending like days of their lives playing one session, and I'm just like, you know what? But yeah, it was complete, like me starting to play D&D was completely on a whim. It was just a conversation and we were just all like, let's do it, and immediately started making our characters. We in no way play the game traditionally, like the way most people do with like a board and little miniatures and freaking like the book and stuff like that, and even a little thing to keep the DM's stuff hidden. We don't do all that. We play online. So like we play online through this thing called Roll20 most of the time because it's easier that way, and we play that. And Justin, our DM, he's pretty lenient with a lot of things. Like he writes the campaigns pretty much, like all of them pretty much from scratch most of the time. And then when it comes to making our characters, he gives us kind of guidelines, like, okay, this is the box that you have to stay in. But the box is like super big, so like we have a lot of creative freedom. So I play with pretty much the same like rotation of people because I'm used to those people and I pretty much know how they play by now. But like the one person who's consistently been through in every campaign with me from the beginning of my D&D career to now is Justin, the DM, because he's DM'd every single campaign I've played in, and I trust him as a DM to, I don't know, make things interesting and incorporate the things that, like our backstories and stuff, very well, I guess you could say. And so yeah, we love our best boy. What kind of characters do I play? I have a very big preference for warriors. Like I love a character who like can have armor. Like I love the characters with armor and like the ones who can be like frontline fighters, because I love getting right up in the face of the bad guy without immediately getting double tapped as soon as they freaking thump my forehead. Like I don't want to be a tank where like my main goal is to like get hit. However, I want to be able to tank some of the damage while also dishing out a lot of damage, because I like damage. In fights, if I can do a lot of damage, I feel accomplished. I feel like I'm helping. I feel like I'm doing things. And you know, it's good to feel useful. I also tend, like when I have the chance to and feel that it is appropriate within the world and story, will make my character a cyborg, for the sole fact that I just really like cyborgs. Like there's no real logic behind it, it's just what I want, and if I can have it, I will. And if I'm not playing a warrior in the whatever campaign, I will pick a mage, or a wizard, because magic. Like I like being able to throw like fireballs and use the elements to my advantage and do things like that. One time I got to play like kind of a mix of both, a warrior and a magic user, and that was really cool. But yeah, that tends to be where I lean. My weapon of choice, it's a hammer. A big, intricately designed warhammer. I don't know when this infatuation with warhammers came about, but as soon as we started making as soon as I started making my first character for the first campaign I was in, I knew in that moment I wanted him to have a giant warhammer. And anytime I can, when I think it fits the character, even if it doesn't fit the character, like, because they tend to do so much damage, and I love the idea of smashing things breaking them into pieces or sending them flying across the map because I'm angry. This might be saying some things about me, but we're not gonna dwell on the details, all right? It's just, number 4 is just kind of a miscellaneous list of things that tend to be involved in a campaign when I'm playing. First, I get ridiculously, like, unreasonably attached to non-player characters, like non-playable characters. Like I don't know what it is. Like, again, since, like, not even since the beginning, like in like my second campaign, we got a lot further than we did in the first one because that whole thing blew up literally. And we, like, I just found characters that like the characters that Justin had created, I really liked them, and I made my character fall in love with one of them. Then they died, and then in another campaign, like, this adorable literal like character, just a scout character, didn't even have a name. I loved him, and just for the fact that I loved him so much, he got a name, but his name ended up being Scout. It was a whole thing, and I dragged that character all the way through the entire campaign to the end. And I just get so attached. I get more attached to the NPCs than I do with the actual people in my party, like my friends. I don't care about them most of the time. Like, I really don't. Most of the time they could die and I'll just be like, dang, that's super unfortunate. But let one of the NPCs that I've decided is my best friend die. I have cried. I've had to take a minute from a step back from the session because I was devastated a couple of times because we lost an NPC. It was the worst. Next thing, I'm still trying to get the hang of the whole roleplay aspect of D&D. Like, I'm not bad at it. Like, I did acting and stuff in high school, and usually when I, like, with certain people, certain friends of mine, like, I can play off them a lot easier than I can with others. But it just kind of gets weird sometimes, just depending on what's happening in the story, and I don't always know how to get in the head of my character specifically, like what would they do in this situation, not what would I do. And so it gets kind of weird. And so it gets a little overwhelming for me sometimes in that aspect, but we get over that quickly because my friends are just crackheads and they usually are very chaotic, so just play off the chaos. The third thing in this little category is I've learned that Best Boy DM, who we talked about this whole video, cannot be trusted and is not my friend when we are playing D&D, because he's the literal omniscient narrator of the entire thing, and he doesn't care about us. He doesn't. He'll watch us. He will watch, like, obviously that's the point, is to kind of just let things play out as they are, but like, I really thought he was going to be a little more merciful in some aspects. But with all of that in mind, that's all I have for y'all today. This was a really short one. This was just supposed to be like a kind of like, yo, I play D&D, and this is how I play it sometimes kind of thing. If y'all want to hear more about, like, want to hear me go into detail about like the specific characters I played in these campaigns, or maybe just like have full videos devoted to like each campaign, like kind of summarizing what went down in each of them, let me know down in the comments. Also, let me know if you play D&D or if you like avoid it the way I used to because you think it's lame. I promise you it's not. It's actually really fun, but I really want to know your opinion on it. Please like and subscribe and tell your friends about me, and thank y'all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.